Your English speaking ability is measured by how many English words you know. And the first thing that everyone will notice about your English is how you pronounce English words. Here on Live English Learning, Saturdays at 7 p.m., I will present live English lessons. I'm Mentor Josephan, and together we will build your English vocabulary, perfect your English pronunciation, and strengthen your English speaking confidence. This is Lesson 1, Part 1. It's a two-part lesson. The first part is just an introduction. And in the second part, I'm going to go over the alphabet letter names and correctly pronounce each of the alphabet letter names for you. Which do you think is more important? Learning English vocabulary or learning English grammar? Is it more important to build your English vocabulary or study English grammar? I believe that improving your English pronunciation and building your English vocabulary are the most important elements in speaking English. Yes, grammar is important, but without words, grammar has no function. We can't even talk about grammar if we don't have vocabulary. More important, or equally, I won't say it's more important, because as your vocabulary grows, you will need to learn how to put those words together. Imagine having a puzzle, a picture puzzle, and you have all of these pieces to the puzzle, all of these mixed up little pieces, and then you want to assemble this puzzle. It's a beautiful landscape. Let's say a landscape puzzle of the scenery, the mountains and the ocean, and you want to put the pieces of the puzzle together. However, there are no pictures on the little pieces of the puzzle. Well, you couldn't put the puzzle together without the pieces. Well, we can consider grammar as the function of putting the pieces of the puzzle together, helping to. So first, though, we must have the words, and we can communicate without grammar. A baby can say, ball, ball, ball. One word, and we can assume that the baby wants the ball. So words are important to express ideas. Grammar is also important, but without words, grammar would have no function. The focus of live English learning is English pronunciation and building your English vocabulary. All of the vocabulary that we present is always presented in sentences. And the sentences are going to be grammatically correct. So as you learn to build your English vocabulary, you will be also learning sentence structure. English has a logic. The more you use English, the more you read it, the more you speak it, the logic of English will begin to become part of you. I dissuade people from being too focused on grammar because you're so concerned about, well, is this going to be grammatically correct? I would say focus on learning basic English conversation and start to build your vocabulary. The grammar is going to come just in that process. The first thing that you need to do is commit yourself that you're going to learn English, okay? You're going to dedicate yourself to learning it. And I'm going to tell you something. I am here on Facebook presenting this lesson to you. However, of all the Facebook groups that I have visited, I cannot say that being part of any of the Facebook groups that I have seen and that I am part of is going to help you to learn to speak English. These posts that I see, many of them grammatically incorrect themselves, written by people whose native language is not English. And so you're learning grammatic structure that is incorrect, and they have these little simple one questions, fill in the blank. You'll never learn English like that. It's not going to help you. It might even confuse you. But on live English learning, we are going to focus on vocabulary, sentences, English speaking confidence, and pronunciation, because pronunciation is also very important. If you know the words, but you cannot pronounce the words, and many of us are shy to speak English. Why? Because we feel that we are mispronouncing the words. Okay, and that might be so, but we're going to help you. Live English learning every Saturday right here. We're going to help you build that English speaking confidence and perfect your English pronunciation, build your English vocabulary. Okay, so the syllabus. The first lesson, that's this one, and the next lesson will focus on the foundation of English pronunciation, which I say is the English alphabet. Learning to correctly pronounce the English alphabet. And I know that you might be saying, the Mentor Josephan, I've learned how I've learned the English alphabet when I am just a little baby. And I don't think that I need to be learning how to pronounce the English words now, because I have learned that so long ago. Well, perhaps you have. And I might suspect that the person that taught you the English alphabet was not a native English speaker. And you might also have learned the English alphabet in your native language. But the alphabet as used in Spanish or German or any of the other languages that use the alphabet is not the same as we use it in English. I can't learn to pronounce Spanish words having studied the English alphabet. I must relearn how to pronounce those same letters in Spanish or German or any of the other languages. So our first focus is correctly pronouncing the alphabet letter names. We're going to get into that in the second part of this lesson. Okay, and we're also going to cover all 44 of the English sounds, the 12 vowel sounds, the 8 diphthongs, and the 24 consonant sounds. And we're going to move on from there, and we'll be going into specifically the vowels, English vowels, and schwa. Schwa. Does anyone know what is the schwa sound? It is the most common sound in English. It is the most frequently used sound in English. we don't articulate all of our vowel sounds. We drop them and replace them with this sound that is called the schwa. And there's about 3 variations of the schwa sound, but essentially it is We'll get more in depth with the schwa. Then we're going to move into the 21 English consonant sounds. How many vowels were there? 5 English vowels. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. I'll get into the consonant sounds later when we go over the entire alphabet. But there are 21 English consonant sounds. Now, there are 6 English vowel sounds. There are 21 English consonant sounds. However, the English language has a total of 44 different sounds. The 26 English alphabet letters in various combinations form 44 different English sounds. And we're going to cover all of them. The diphthongs. The English diphthongs, there are 8 English diphthongs. Let's see if we can go over them. The I sound as in cry. Listen, a diphthong sounds sort of like, what do you call it? It kind of glides. They're called gliding vowels. Listen to this. I. Do you hear 2 different sounds? I, as in cry, cry. I am crying. I am crying. A, as in lay, lay. You hear? A. That's a diphthong. 2 sounds. Listen. A. Oi. 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 As in coy, 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 coy. And then there is ear, like this thing on your head here. Ear. Listen to the 2 sounds. Ear, 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 ear. That's how this thing is pronounced. This thing right here, it's ear. My ear aches. I have an earache, an earache, earache, earache. And then we have air, ear, 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 as in pair, a pair of shoes. And then ooh, 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 as in cure, cure, cure. Then we have oh, oh, as in oh. And finally, ow, 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 as in cow, how. So I'll say them quickly. I, a, oi, e, a, o, ow. Those are the 8 diphthongs. This is not a whole lesson. Keep in mind, I'm just introducing you. Okay, let's move on. And then after we cover diphthongs, we're going to get into really fine-tuning our English with minimal pairs. Minimal pairs. What are minimal pairs, you might be asking? Well, minimal pairs are words that maybe sound similar, but there's a slight difference. They may be spelled the same and pronounced differently. Or there's just one variation in one of the letters in the words that makes the sound of the word slightly different. And so that's we'll be getting into minimal pairs, and that's going to complete our English lessons. There's a total of 6 lessons that we're going to have here, but the 6 lessons might be 12 or 13 different classes, okay, because we're going to break them up. Some of them will be long. I promised you that we would get into the alphabet letter names. Now, this is important, and if you can follow along with me, pronounce these after me. Listen closely and pronounce these alphabet letter names after me. Tabula rasa. Does anyone out there know what is tabula rasa? It's a psychological term, a term in psychology that suggests that it's a theory. It's a theory in psychology that suggests that children, when they are born, their mind is blank. They can be whatever it is that influences them in the course of their growing up. And there are opposing theories in psychology, the theory of innate, that we are born with ideas and feelings and everything in us. So those are 2 conflicting or contrary theories in psychology. Well, you have learned, as I said, the English alphabet, and I'm asking you to forget it. Forget what you have learned. Throw it out of your mind. In fact, you can take all of the English learning that you have acquired so far, especially regarding English pronunciation, grammar rules and everything. I'm not asking you to throw that out, all right? But all that you have learned regarding English pronunciation, I want you to just throw it out of your mind, clear your mind, and we want to start with a blank slate, like the chalkboard. You know, the chalkboard in the schoolroom. Let's erase everything from that chalkboard that's in your mind. Let's erase all of that and start fresh. In all life's worthwhile endeavors, it is always best to start at the beginning. In my 55 plus years as an English professional, and I've worked with corporations and school systems globally. I've taught in Thailand and in the Philippines and other places around the world, in Europe, as a consultant to help usually corporate professionals perfect their English speaking. And also I work with teachers. teachers in the universities and teachers in secondary schools usually that need to teach English, and they want to teach correct pronunciation. And so I've worked with a lot of systems in helping those professionals to speak better English. And in my experience, the best place to start, and as we are, from the beginning. And the beginning is learning to pronounce the ABCs. I suggested this to a student. Doesn't matter what country he came from. But when I suggested to him that we were going to start his training with the ABCs, he became very indignant with me and saying the ABCs. And I can't even imitate his strong accent. I can't imitate his accent, but his accent was so strong, but he insisted that he does not need to learn the English ABCs. He learned that as a child. He wants to learn to speak English. He doesn't want to learn the ABCs. Huh? You want to learn to speak English, but you don't want to learn the ABCs. Okay, well, I suggest that you find a teacher that can help you to speak English without your understanding the ABCs. I can't help you. And that's the problem that many have. You're trying to learn to speak English with the sounds that you grew up with, your native sounds. Well, they're fine for teaching, for understanding your language. And if I had to learn your language, I would have to learn your ABCs or whatever your characters are that you use. I'd have to learn their sounds in order to speak your language. So we're going to start at the beginning, the foundation of English pronunciation, the ABCs. Okay, everyone knows the English alphabet, the ABCs, right? Now, here's something to understand. Many of you can read English. You can even write English, even though your grammar might be a little off. But you can read English. You have little problem reading English, and maybe a little bit more challenging for you to write in English because of the grammar. However, you have difficulty speaking it. Now, I mentioned that there are 44 sounds in English. And we know that the English alphabet has 26 letters that form to make the 44 sounds. So, understand that the English alphabet has two purposes. Two purposes. The English alphabet has two primary purposes. The first primary purpose of the English alphabet is creation of words for writing thoughts. Creation of words for reading and writing thoughts. So we have the words, we write them down, and we can read them. We can write them without speaking, and we can read them without speaking, and we can convey what is in our mind by putting it on a piece of paper. And we only use 26 English alphabet letters to accomplish that. However, for speaking English, there are 44 English sounds. So the 26 alphabet letters combine to create words to be read and written. That's the first purpose of the English alphabet. The 26 letters combine to create words to be read and written. The 26 alphabet letters create words. A word's meaning can be understood without speaking a sound. You don't have to speak to read and write. The second purpose of the English alphabet is combining 26 letters to represent 44 sounds. The 26 alphabet letters also represent 44 sounds. To speak your ideas. To speak your ideas. 44 sounds, 26 letters. 2, 3, and 4 English alphabet letters can combine to make one single sound. Here are some examples. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, ya, 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 ya. And then we see some diphthong sounds here. A, ow, and the ch, 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 and the ed sound, and the sound, and the sh, and the and ian and shian and t, shan. And so all of these sounds you can see are formed by various combinations of the 26 letters. 26 letters, 44 sounds. So we're going to learn to understand all of these various letter combinations to form the 44 sounds of English. That's going to help you a whole lot. To perfect your English pronunciation, you must fully understand, beginning with the English alphabet letter names. Now, the English alphabet letter names, keep in mind that they are names of the letters. The names of the letters themselves are not going to necessarily help you to look at, they'll help you to look at the written word and understand its meaning, but the names of the letters won't necessarily help you to pronounce that word. You must know the various sounds that that letter can represent. And so the alphabet letter names, keep this in mind, they are only the names of the alphabet letters. And some of the names don't even relate to the sounds that they represent, like X in some cases and W for sure, and Y. That can get confusing. So just keep in mind that these are only names. However, some of the names do represent the sounds that they make, especially with the consonant sounds, except for the W, the Y, and the X, and maybe a couple others in there, but we'll go over all of those. So, English learners, let me introduce you to the correct pronunciation of the alphabet letter names and to all the sounds within the alphabet letter names that you probably do not know exist. And now, I'm going to pronounce for you the English alphabet letter names. We're going to start with the letter A. Now listen. The alphabet letter name A. 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 Two sounds. It's actually a diphthong. A. A. Next is a consonant sound, the letter name B. Notice how I accentuate my lips. B, b. That's essentially the sound of the B without the but b, 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 B. The B and after it is a E. B-E. If I did it slow, but I don't want you saying B-E, B-E. No, it's B. 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 Puck them lips out. B. 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 You got to exercise those lips. Learning to speak English, you're learning to use muscles, your vocal muscles, differently. And so this is an exercise. You have to build these muscles that you are unaccustomed to using. B. B. Really push it out. B. C. Two sounds. S. E. C. C. Those teeth must touch. You must touch the teeth. C. C. Now keep in mind the letter C has other sounds, okay? As in the letter K. Sometimes it sounds like K, but right now its name is C. We're not talking about its sound, we're talking about its name. The alphabet letter name is C. 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 Notice how my lips, watch my lips. C. 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 D. 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 That's the sound of the letter name. D. D. E. D. Get it crisp. D. The tongue on the tip, right behind the T, at the roof of the mouth. D. 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 And the D and the T sound come from the same place. They just push different. But let's stick with the letter name. What's the letter name? D. 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 Now this letter name actually doesn't have two sounds. It's crisp. E. 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 Very crisp. E. That's the letter name. We're not talking about its sounds. It is its name. That symbol, the name of it is E. The next alphabet symbol is F. Now you notice how my teeth touch my lower lip. F. 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 J. J. This is the name of this letter. G. J. E. J. E. G. 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 J. E. G. Two sounds. H. 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 You got to get that ch, ch, ch. Watch. Ch, ch. H. H. Listen to this. This is a diphthong also. It's a diphthong. a gliding sound. The letter name is I. 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 My I. I. The letter I. J. 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 It's just like the G. J. 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 A. J. A. J. 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 The letter name K. 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 A. K. A. Get that? From the back of the throat that sound comes. K. 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 We're going to practice these sounds. Don't worry, I'm just introducing you to the letter names. We're going to have plenty of words and practice on these sounds. So don't think that you're going to get it all in this lesson. It's not going to happen, okay? It's going to take you a while to learn English. It's not going to happen in one lesson. I'm not promising you a miracle that, oh, you're going to learn to speak the English in just one lesson. No, sir, it ain't going to happen. And anybody that tells you that, if you buy it, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. K. A. K. K. L. 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 Letter name L. Letter name M. 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 Bring those lips together. M. 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 Me, 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 M. Letter name N. 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 M. N. M. N. M. N. M. N. N. Na 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 na. N. 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 O. 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 Hear those two sounds glide together? O. 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 My. O. Letter name O. Letter name P. P. E. P. E. P. 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 Letter name R. Oh. R. Open the back of the throat wide. R. And then the tongue curls up toward the roof of the mouth to form that growling sound. R. 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 And do you see how I can make the sound without moving my mouth? It's my tongue that forms that R sound. The back of my throat and the tongue articulates that R sound. Are. Are. Are you coming or not? Are you or aren't you? Are. Are. Here's another sound like the C where the teeth come together. The letter name, S. 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 Like the snake. Snake. The snake. The snake. Snickering snake. Why that snickering snake? S. The letter name, S. The letter name, T. E. E. T. That's a difficult one. It's coming from the same place as the letter D. T. Listen. D. T. D. T. D. T. D. T. D. T. You hear the difference? T. 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 D. 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 T. 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 D. 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 T. D. The letter name, U. U. Watch. U. You. You. You do not mean that, do you? Do you mean that? Do you? You. Letter name, U. The teeth must touch the bottom lip. This is a voiced sound. You hear the hum? V. Two sounds. V. E. V. 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 Now, this letter name, yes, has no reference to the sounds that it makes. It's double U, W, double U, W, W. That's the sound. That's the letter name's name. That's the letter's name. W, W, W. And X. There's three sounds there. X. X. The letter name. X. 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 Letter name, X. Three sounds, X. Y. 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 It's sort of like and then going to I. Why? Why would you say that? Why do you do the things that you do? Why? 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 And finally, the letter Z. Z. One of my favorite sounds, the Z, because I think it has so much vigor. Maybe it's because there was a song, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My, what a wonderful day. But I like that sound, zip. You put a little zip into your life. Zip it, baby. Zip it. And there we go. The alphabet letter names. And those are only the names. We'll be getting more in depth to the alphabet letter sounds. But that has been the alphabet letter names. But let me tell you, I also do this lesson live on YouTube, and I don't have problems there. But I'm also recording it in high definition, and so I will post the lesson on my page. So Live English Learning, and I am Mentor Josephan. It's been wonderful. Again, I hope that this lesson is of some value to you, and watch it again and again until you can pronounce those alphabet letter names all correctly. And the next lesson will be on the alphabet letter name groups. And that's going to help you with understanding the English diphthong sounds and certain other things that you need to understand to complete your basics of the English alphabet. I'm signing out. Thank you, and hopefully I'll see you next week, Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. on Live English Learning. Join the group. Live English Learning. Live English Learning. Live English Learning. Live English Learning. Join the group. Learn